Hey everybody, this is Andrew Kimmons with Kimmons Toolworks. It's been a few since I've made a video, and that is because I have been down sick pretty hard. Pneumonia, sinus infection, flu symptoms, all that fun stuff. So today's my first day back in a week, and all I pretty much did for a week was just like lay in bed and sweat, which I mean, that's like all I did. So it was just lay in bed and sweat. I took 3 days without eating too, which was interesting. I don't think I've ever gone 3 days without eating before, but it seemed to help a little bit. I don't know. Maybe there's some science to it that I don't quite understand. I think that excuse me, when your body's working really hard to digest food, I don't think it can work nearly as hard to fight something off. That was my logic behind it. So I tried it, and I don't know, because I don't have a parallel universe perfect version copy of myself where everything is the same except he didn't fast for 3 days. So I don't know. There is no way to know. Anyway, as always, if you're interested in any of the things that you see in these videos, Andrew at KimmonsHandTools.com. If you have a need for any custom cutting tools of any sort, woodworking tools, knives, things like that, Andrew at KimmonsHandTools.com. State of the art, pretty crazy stuff comes out of here anymore, and that's the way I like it. There's enough boring, the same crap junk out there. There's so much junk out there. Everywhere you go, there's just junk. And yeah, no, I'm not into that. So you get things that actually cut and actually function, and that is kind of nice. That's what forced me to do all this stuff. I got sick of paying astronomical amounts of money for stuff that I perceived was junk, and to get warped, like spend a lot of money on a set of woodworking chisels, and like they're warped sideways or like warped up, or like one is 62 Rockwell and then the rest of them are 58, and like that's just mass production for you. Everybody's looking to make a buck. Nobody's looking to do a good job of anything. So everybody's just after getting your money for the most part, with putting in as little work as possible to get as much of your money as possible. And that drives me absolutely nuts. And that is why I don't do that. Anyway, I have a couple things here. First, I would like to say, I still found more new old stock chisels in my file cabinet. I have a file cabinet that I keep prototype stuff in, and I was digging through that to try and find some of the original chisels that I made a long time ago, and I still found more new old stock of the Tang style. And I have enough for 5 4-piece sets in 1/8 quarter, 3/8 and half. All of them are 1/8 quarter, 3/8 and half. All of them are in A2. And if you want the normal discount deal on it, it's $400 for the 4-piece set. And it's first come, first serve. Whoever's the first to email me, you will have the shot at getting them. It's going to be about a month before I get them all finished, because I have other work that I have to fold into everything too. And but yeah, you can go ahead and let me know, and I will get back with you as soon as possible, and in the order there you email me, obviously. So the 6th person that emails me and wants one, you don't get one. I'm sorry. They will be, the handle option that I have at that price point is walnut. That is literally about all I've got left for the lower cost domestic handle materials. And within that walnut category is a lot of really pretty curly walnut. And so you may end up getting some really pretty curly walnut in your chisels too. I've kind of saved that for last, but it's like that's what I've got for domestic wood in stock currently. Excuse me, antibiotics messing with my stomach. But anyway, email me, Andrew at KimmonsHandTools.com. Be one of the first 5, and you can get in on this this action. And as far as I know, this should be the last time. I think that's it. I don't think there's any more. unless I would have put some more in a stupid place somewhere else, which is probably not likely because I'm very organized. So it's not very often something like this comes along and I realized that I had put a lot of crap. I found old plane irons in there and stuff like that too. Like ones I made that I never even, like, they're heat treated and put in there. I have no idea, but I sharpened one of them up. I finished one and sharpened one up and planed my bench before I got sick. And so, like, that was kind of cool. Just take a test run of one of my old school A2 plane irons. I'd sold almost all of them that I had. So it's like, cool. They're pretty sweet. That A2 is pretty nice as a plane iron. I have a Magna Cut one that I ran on it last year when I did it, and it worked great as well. Anyway, the point of this video, other than that, is I have a couple of knives here that I made, and they've been done for a while. If you follow my personal Facebook page, there's been pictures of these on it. My personal Facebook page is just Andrew Kimmins, and the profile picture is me and my daughter riding a merry-go-round high-fiving. And it was like a good opportunity, and my mom took the picture, and it's just really cool. So there's pictures of these on there. You can send me a friend request if you follow this, and that's cool. I write all kinds of really long crap on there all the time that's just really kind of complicated and things that I'm thinking about. Like the one that I did yesterday was on differentiating between a egotist or a severe egotist or a genuine narcissist. And I will tell you, there's like the two are different animals. That's like comparing a gorilla to a beaver. Like, they're not anything the same. And those who have dealt with genuine narcissists in your life, you know that it's like you spend time dealing with a genuine narcissist, that person takes something from you you may never get back. In terms of, a lot of people end up absolutely messed up in the head because of narcissists, and it's prevalent. And I know a lot of people, actually. It's becoming very common because of social media and attention, all the attention people want, narcissistic people want, being at their fingertips. And narcissists, they thrive on attention. That is their currency. They call it supply. They need narcissistic supply. And if they don't get supply from one place, they will get it from another place. And then the only way that they may get it from that place is to put on the mask and be somebody completely other than what they are. So, like, you never know. You can know a narcissist for years and years and years and years and years, and then one day that mask comes off, and that person that you thought was that person wearing that mask, oh buddy, they're not that person at all. And I wrote a big long thing about that and some of the strategies that narcissists use and stuff like that. And it's creepy because it really will make you feel like collective consciousness is a thing, because they all do the exact same things. They all use the exact same strategies. It's like they all say the same things, like the exact same phrases. And I mean, I've talked to a lot of people that have dealt with this, and it's even the same phrases, the same setups, the same tactics, the same phrases, the same everything. It's as if something external to them is controlling the minds of these people. I'm not saying that that's what it is. I have no idea. I'm just saying that it seems like that, and it's weird. It's like something just hijacks and controls people. And it's weird, it's creepy, and one thing about like an egotistical person, they're just full of themselves, and they're usually just like a blowhard type asshole that just thinks they're cool or whatever. And like the big thing, the thing that I put at the end of that was, and it's true for the most part, it's like, if you tell an egotistical person, all you have to do is like tell them to shut up, and then just tell them they're not that cool, and they'll show everybody like that who the asshole is, because they'll go off because they're an egotist. A narcissist is way more sly and cunning and manipulative than that, because a narcissist will not blow their cover around anyone that doesn't already know they're a narcissist. And People think narcissists are just assholes and whatever. Like, I guarantee you, if you meet a narcissist in your life right now, a real narcissist, you walk up to them, they walk up to you, whatever, you meet them, you're going to walk away from that encounter thinking that they are the nicest, most caring, most genuine, most perfect, most flawless human being you've ever met. You will think that they have a heart of gold and nothing but good intentions, and that, you know, they've just been misunderstood, misused, mistreated, and they particularly thrive on emotional people. They have to, because that's the game they play. If you don't have emotional strings to pull, they can't keep you in a fucking haze. Pardon my language. It's just true. They can't keep you in this haze of not recognizing, because you'll always wonder what the narcissist's problem is, but you just won't realize it's a narcissist until the mask comes off, and then it's like, oh, you have every sign and symptom. And it's just really prevalent today. I've met probably a dozen people that say the exact same things, and they've dealt with the exact same crap from people, and it's creepy. Anyway, yeah, point of the video, I have a couple knives here that are super cool, and they're a little bit smudgy because this video took a take already because I've had pneumonia. I started coughing really bad and it just wasn't good, so I was like, I'll just redo the video. This sucks. Anyway, I have a couple knives right here that are super cool. See, you can see my fingerprints on them. I had them all super clean, but whatever. These are CPM 20CV. They have white turquoise handles. They have brass accents inside of them, and some really cool machining on the spine that goes almost to the tip. And they're just very ornate and pretty knives. And coupled with CPM 20CV, like, they're indestructible. They're crazy. The edge retention of 20CV, heat treated properly, is as good as it gets. It's the best there is. I know there's the MagnaCut fanboys out there. I know. I hear you. There's nothing wrong with MagnaCut as a knife steel. It's just not the best, in my opinion. Not the best for my uses, my particular scenarios, my life, the things I use a knife for. I get better performance and better characteristics out of 20CV. But that entirely depends on who's heat treating it. Because would I rather have a CPM 20CV that's inferior as far as heat treatment, or would I rather have MagnaCut that's been heat treated properly? Well, I'd rather have MagnaCut that's been heat treated properly, because anything that has underwent an inferior heat treating process is an inferior cutting tool. Bottom line, all things being equal, which they can't be because you heat treat different steels differently, all things being relatively comparable, CPM 20CV is a better steel. Sorry. It's harder to work with, in a sense. It's more prone to warpage. Heat treating it's more complicated, but it's better for a knife. I'm not saying for a chisel. You don't want to use CPM 20CV for a chisel. These are slicing, cutting tools, things like that. A steel like CPM 20CV is not made to undergo the super high stresses that it would see in a chisel, you know, with a 30-degree bevel or a 25-degree bevel angle. You will end up with chipping. But knives aren't used in that manner. They can be. Depends on the bevel angle you put on it. I guarantee you I could go outside with this one that I made for myself, which has a thicker grind on it. This one's for my mom, late Christmas present. This has a thinner grind and it's lighter. These handles, being white turquoise, are extremely heavy. So like the balance is awesome, for especially for like as big and beefy of a chopper as I wanted in terms of thickness. I could go outside and I could chop at a piece of wood with this thing and I wouldn't get chipping with it. I know that, but it would be more prone to chipping than a tool steel. Difference is chromium content and other things, a few other things, but generally speaking, it's chromium content, because chromium is what gives you your classical stainless properties, and it grows a large percentage of carbides that make it very wear resistant as a knife, but simultaneously it begins to get more brittle with chromium, which is why steels like D2 are often used, D2 is considered a semi-stainless. It's like in this little Goldilocks zone where it's not technically a stainless steel, but if you throw 1% more chromium in the mix, it's a stainless steel by definition. But it's not. It falls in this little semi-steel or semi-stainless steel sort of Goldilocks zone of weirdness, and it's a good steel for knives, but it's not like great. They make CPM D2, which would be a much better, more superior version of D2, but D2 still is a very inferior steel compared to something like 20CV or even MagnaCut. MagnaCut is a much better knife steel than D2, and the price reflects that. It absolutely reflects that. Steels like 20CV, MagnaCut, things like that, you cannot get these at the price that you can get a steel like D2 or 154CM, something like that, which is just the modern updated version of 440C, which is a good run-of-the-mill knife steel. But we're talking 20CV, a steel like that's on a different planet, and that is why you pay for it. I mean, I'm sorry to say that, but that's just the way it is that advanced steels require advanced processing, and they require a lot of consumables to machine them, to finish them, to grind them, to things like, just every aspect of it is much more involved than a basic steel. And A2, whereas it's a great tool steel for chisels, and it's a great tool steel for even a knife if you don't mind your knife having the capacity to rust. Even that is a technically inferior steel to a CPM steel. But I will tell you one thing about A2. Even conventional A2 that is not a particle metallurgy steel, it just takes a sweet edge. And there's so many myths surrounding A2. There are so many myths, and even ones that I regurgitated once upon a time because I thought they were true. My experiences were that they're true, but they're just not. And this is how life works. We believe and we share the best information we have at the time. If better information comes along, we don't stick to our guns with the same crappy, outdated information. You change things. That's not contradicting yourself. It's not contradicting yourself to sit there and say, I thought this was true, but now I know it's not, so this is true. That's called being a logical human being. So the little myth with A2 that drives me kind of nuts is everyone says A2 has better edge retention and O1 gets sharper. That, I have found that to be categorically false. Not on the front that it doesn't hold a better edge. A2 holds a better edge. But in terms of sharpness, if you properly heat treat A2, which is around 63 Rockwell, versus how pretty much every other manufacturer is heat treating A2, which is nowhere near, I mean, orders of magnitude lesser than 63 Rockwell, you're probably going to notice that. If it soaks too long during the time that it's austenitizing, if it soaks too long, the maximum sharpness is going to suffer. Or if you make it too soft, that peak sharpness is going to suffer as well. So, as with any steel, it's a fine balance. It's a tightrope walk on a knife's edge. That is heat treating steel. And you cannot go too much in any one direction with any one thing. More is not better. Everybody thinks like, oh, the more heat, the harder, so more must be better. Well, that is how you make a knife that breaks. It will literally break while it's tempering. You'll have it tempering and then you'll hear ting. Okay. There's just so many ways to screw up. Like, a phrase that I love for heat treating is the enemy of good is better. That is the truth. The enemy of good is better. There is a point where your pursuit for better, if you take one more step in any direction with any of the conceivable metrics, you are going to do more harm than good. And then, congratulations, you found that for one steel. Every steel has that same exact thing. And you'll even notice differences batch to batch with steel sometimes. I mean, if you really are experienced in heat treating steel, you can notice differences. And anyway, so if you're interested in these, not these in particular, these are not for sale, but if you're interested in having one of these made, and as I said, there's tons of options if you want different handles, different whatever, the thin grind, the thick grind, a different blade material, that's cool. Let me know and I can give you a quote. I don't ever quote anything on here because prices always change. And they have to, because especially with materials like that, I don't know if I can get that or what price I'd get that for tomorrow. I have no idea. So with stuff like this, it has to be case by case. We can do the machining on the spine. There's all kinds of things we can do. And if you don't want a chef's knife, you want a knife of your own design, that's cool. I can do that as well. I just have to have something to go off of, a drawing, dimensions, things like that. We can do that. And I know I'd lagged with emails and stuff like that over a while with being sick. And I think, mostly caught up on all of that at this point, and I apologize. I was pretty much just trying not to be dead. So anyway, the fact that I'm still alive is a very good thing, and I hope to stay that way for the foreseeable future. Andrew at KimmonsHandTools.com if you want the most badass cutting tools on the face of the planet. Let's face it. And I'm not going to sit here and tell you that this is a cheap knife. It's not. But I will tell you it's probably cheaper than you might think. And believe it or not, I can do these way cheaper than I thought. I thought for sure that these were going to end up much more expensive. I would say my estimate of what it was going to cost to make these knives was $450 over what they cost. So you may be surprised at what you can get one of these for. If you're curious, send me an email, Andrew at KimmonsHandTools.com. If you want to do handles like that with the fancy machining and the brass inlays and all that stuff on a different knife of your design, we can do that. If you want one of the 4-piece sets, one of the last overstock sets that I didn't even know I had, they're half, 3/8, quarter, 1/8. All 5 sets are that way. I currently have walnut. If you want a different handle, we can do that, but the price is going to change. These sets in walnut, $400 for a 4-piece set, which after these 5 sets, I don't think I will ever be able to run those at that price again, unless the economy significantly improves. This will be the last time we see that. So the first 5 people to email me, congratulations, and I will be getting these out probably in about a month because I have some other orders that are more important at the moment, and I have to work on people as it's fair. So my lead times are not as bad as they have been. Actually, they're the best. My lead times are currently the best they've been in over 3 years. And that's partially why I've just stayed quiet and kept my head down and kept working, is to make my lead times a little bit better. I'm still quoting the same lead time, but things are getting out faster than that, which is an amazing thing. Because like last year, I had multiple orders go out a month late, and I thank God my customers were patient and know that I'd had a very rough year and been through so much. I just hope to never again. I mean, never again experience. I'm not done, like, even wrapping my head around last year. But what I do know is that there's some things you don't do again. And there's some mistakes you don't make twice. And I just appreciate that everyone was patient while I sorted through a lot. So anyway, I don't want to like end the video on a, you know, low note here. If you're one of those people that waited way too long to get your stuff, I still have one order that needs to go out, but we're not sure what his handles are. David, I will send you a text message about that, because I have your chisels literally right here, and those are that's the last order I'm behind on, and they're CPM M4. So yeah, let me know what you want to do as far as handles. I know you watch all these YouTube videos. Let me know what you want to do as far as handles, so that I can get these sent to you and get you enjoying them. And he actually ordered something later that is already shipped. So this is one that's just, and I thank God he's just a patient person, great human being. I know a few months ago, I had a 4-hour phone conversation with the guy, and just, my customers are the most down-to-earth, legit, real people, good people, like genuinely good people in their heart. Like, I feel blessed to have people like that come to me, because we see so much in the world that is the opposite of that, and we experience a lot in the world that's opposite of that. And doing what I do has attracted the best people to be part of it, because everybody, I mean, that's the way I feel about it. Everybody that orders something from me or has a piece of my work in some sort, like, you're part of this. I am here for you because of you. And without you guys, like, I would be nothing. I would be absolutely nothing. And so I'm thankful. Like, I'm the kind of guy that, like, when someone places an order for my stuff, it's not like you're going through and, you know, and some dude sitting at a desk somewhere processes the order and like 12 other people handle it. Like, I get happy when somebody buys my stuff. That makes me genuinely happy. It makes me feel good. It's like, you know, I can do something that people like, I guess, which that makes me feel good, that somebody would actually choose me and what I do. So I know I pour a lot of myself into it, every shred of my ability into it, and I certainly have the hands to show for that. And I don't care who likes them. They're beat to hell, and they're very ugly, and I don't care. People look down on people for having hands like mine, and I know that. Look at your hands, and they just give you a dirty look, like you're a lesser human being, like you're a creature that doesn't deserve a place in the world. Like, been there, done that. So not everyone wants to be sitting at a desk typing. I've done it. I've been there. I've done it. I've worked for major corporations. I've made ass tons of money working for major corporations, and I walked away. I had the second biggest house in town where I lived. My neighbor was an executive for Boeing. Like, I've done a lot in my life and walked away from many things that didn't make me happy in here. And I learned one thing, that money is not what makes you happy in here. That leads you down a path of hedonism and a constant desire for more, because there's something inside of you that's not right. And it started out as, you know, being happy to whatever, this or that, and it ends up ugly, and which led me down a path. I'm a very open person. Led me down to a 8-year-long path of just about halfway drinking myself to death, because I was so unhappy that eventually you realize what makes you happy, and what makes you happy isn't the money or the stuff. It's not the crap. It doesn't matter. And it doesn't matter what anybody thinks about you or what crap you have or what. It just doesn't matter. What matters is the people in your life that love you and care about you. That's it. That is objectively it. And what kind of things make you happy doing those things? And to a lot of us, our happiness and our intrinsic sense of self-worth is not inseparably tied to finance. It's not. If I can pay the bills, save for retirement, do a handful of things that I want to do here and there, I am happy. I am happy. Just doing the things I want to do is like astronomically better. Or like what I love is summer vacations where, you know, it's a beautiful day, it's not too hot, it's not raining, it's sunny, and it's a Wednesday afternoon around lunchtime, and I can be like, just go get my daughter, be like, let's go for a walk down by the river, and just walk through the woods by the river. And nobody can tell me not to. And nobody can tell me that's stupid and get back to work. Because the thing is that I put in my work when I put in my work. And I work a lot. It's almost 7 days a week. And a lot of hours. But the hours literally makes it worth it when I can take any minute of any day that I want to go spend time with my daughter. That's cool. Like, that is ultimately... Like, I can't think of anything better in life than that. Than getting to understand your own child more. That's cool to me. That's what cool is. And a lot of parents don't see it that way these days, and that is why this world is a disaster, is because people have treated children like pets. They treat their children like they are pets, and they feed them, and they run around, and they invest no care, no love, no effort into their children. And it's all about self. Believe me, I see way too much of that. And that is completely diametrically opposed to who I am as a human being. Because it's like, some of us have learned what matters. And been through hell and come out of it relatively okay. Not like unscarred, not unbattered, not unbeaten, not without some repressed rage to some extent, but we know what matters, and like that's pretty cool. I don't know. Anyway, I'm not gonna just sit here and ramble all day. I could, because I have a lot of thoughts, but Andrew at KimmonsHandTools.com if you want to support a small family business that's just me and my daughter. So, you know, the money doesn't go anywhere else but just me and my daughter. So I hope everyone has a great day out there, and hopefully you took something away from this video, whether it be in terms of metallurgy or heat treating or ethically, morally, something decent at least. And if you want to be one of the lucky 5, Andrew at KimmonsHandTools.com. Let me know you want one of these sets, and I can make it happen for you. Anyway, have a great day out there, and I will see you next time. And don't forget, if you want one of these bad little beasts right here, Andrew at KimmonsHandTools.com is the only place on earth to get something like that. Have a great day.